And also marketing will take that part of the, and our flagship project. Is the area where it cost us a lot of money. Can carry on. The awards and the publications. Under the publications, a lot of our money goes to the printing of the LIT. Can carry on. Yeah, that is the end of our budget. We have tried to move most to club transport and accommodation together. It was scattered in some other places, like we removed it and then club it under management there. And that's all about our budget. Can I call for comments?
Yes, please.
You are recognized.
Just doing quick mental arithmetic, seems to me that you've added 6% onto everything. Is that a realistic figure, considering that quite often fees go up or costs go up by more than 6%? Are we being a little optimistic about what the costs will be in the next year?
That is I know, like some of the costs would go by more than that, but like if you look at the medical aids, they've gone out by 9%. But when we have the budget like this, we would try to do cost containment and also try to manage it so that it balances. Any other comment? One? Okay.
Thank you.
You are noted.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't sure what reviewers mean. There was some expenditure there for reviewers. And also, what is it that gets to be done during Open Access Week? Because to my knowledge, I've never seen LIASA being, active during that week.
Open Access Week. We realize that it's one of the flagship items, activities which we should do. We said for a start we should allocate it with that little amount. I think it's about 5,000, basically for marketing or working with other or supporting other events related to that, so that as LIASA we are visible. But with regard to the other issue of the reviewers, I would ask the PE to talk to that.
Yes, Saviwe, you may remember me saying earlier during the President's report that there are some things that we can improve on. And so we're putting our money a little bit where our mouth is to see how we can move ourselves out of that situation by being passive passes on of information around Open Access Week to something more, but we are not overly ambitious. So, colleagues, I've been told that I'm looking very angry. I assure you I'm not angry in the least. My ears are, for those of you who know me, My ears block up during the day and then I have a bit of trouble hearing. So that squint you might have been seeing, or that frown, was me trying to listen. I do apologize if you had that impression. I do hear clearly enough because I've got Naseem on this side and Rebecca on this side as well. Thank you. Steve, would you like to continue?
So just in terms of the issue around money allocated to reviewers, every year the SAGLIS team would choose 5 reviewers that have been normally the most responsive. The team would actually look at the reviewers, choose a list of those 5 reviewers, and we actually pay them, I suppose what one calls an honorarium. It's an annual thing that we do. We normally do announce it as well. It normally goes onto the website who those lists of people are. If you go and check on the website, you go to SAGLIS, you will see who has received that honor in the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, I got it. That would help me out here.
I hope there are no other comments on the budget, and if not, may I propose for the adoption of the budget? Leila, noted. Any support? Lasha, noted. There is a comment on the budget, ne? Okay, no, it's fine.
Thank you very much. Greeting. I just want to comment on something. I'm Sife from Watuguza municipality. Yesterday we had a AGM for interest group, and there were some proposals on those interest group. So I want to check if you had a meeting before the projected expenditure, because there was some issues on the Patrick that they decide to use the main account, LIASA. Also, there is some money that they need to claim from LIASA, which amounting of 10,000 rand. So I want to check if you had that discussion.
Okay. We are looking at encouraging all the branches and interest groups to centralize their accounts with LIASA, with the national office. And when the money is there, it is safe, and it also assists us to account better, particularly with the auditors. So whatever money for any interest group or branch which is transferred to national is safe and it will be accountable for.
Colleagues, a past president started what passing on any conference, sharing with the branches and interest groups surpluses that happen, which makes a lot of sense. But there is no entitlement around whether or not there is money available to branches and interest groups year on year. And one of the reasons that there isn't right now is because we had to write off, or were asked to write off up to R750,000 rand of outstanding conference fees. This is not from a lack of due diligence on the side of office, or the LIASA office, nor the LIASA Exco. This comes from organizations which promise to pay through POs, and the conference organizers, the LIASA office, even NK accounting, our accountants get involved in trying to recoup that money. And one reaches a stage where the effort exerted costs more than the money, and therefore we've written off 2016. I refuse to write off 2017 and 2018. For 2019, no person has been allowed into this conference with a purchase order without signing a personal undertaking that should their organization default, they are personally liable for this money. Therefore, we are nowhere near talking about any surplus that is available to share. And I repeat, it is not an entitlement. Secondly, we got 4, I left a bit of paper in the room this morning, but I think the number was 4 out of the 20 branches and interest groups that provided audited financial statements, despite the fact that we put at their disposal the services of NK accounting for which they didn't need to pay. Now, going back to transparency and accountability, we are being asked to give money to groups who do not account for monies that they have used in the first place or have not in the last cycle. We cannot continue like this. Back in 2014, I think it was, on the 2nd of August, that current president came to the Western Cape branch, of which I was a member of the BEC, and said, we are now going to move those monies to national. It is 6 years later. I didn't think at that time I would be president, and this is my problem. But 6 years later, it is my problem. Colleagues, when we talk about good governance, we need to lead by example. And the representative council, the executive council does not, the executive committee does not move with outside the requirements of the constitution. And the issue about taking local bank accounts international was approved by Rep Council on Sunday the 29th of September. So this is the situation that we are involved in, and these are the measures that we are taking to align ourselves fully with due diligence and good governance.